All right, here we go. This wonderful Monday morning. Golly, it's like Thursday, I think, not Monday. Don't know why I said that, but at any rate, it is another wonderful morning, and I think I am going to talk to you guys about like the social media grind today, and what a grind it is, and a grind that I'm currently fighting and battling with constantly, and just like the exhaustion that comes with that. It is such a backwards process, and it's not easy, and I get that. Nothing in life that's worth having is easy to acquire, but like the ideology of like it is very difficult to get a following if you have no following, which is this kind of like endless cycle of never getting what you want out of social media, because it's the same thing with like jobs. People have this issue with jobs. It's hard to get experience when you don't have any experience, because no one wants to hire an inexperienced worker. And so you have that core issue there of like everyone wants someone with a lot of experience, but no one's willing to hire the people who don't have a lot of experience. And then you also have the spectrum of the person who's trying to get the job. If you're willing to take the chance on someone who has no experience, that person still wants to be paid like the person who's got the experience. And it's like, well, I'm not going to pay you a stupid amount of money when you don't even have experience in this field. Like, I'm willing to take a chance on you, but it's going to be like, you're going to have to give me something, and what you're giving me is less wages. But it's just this constant cycle and this dichotomy that we create where you can never get experience because you've never worked, and you can never everyone wants experience, but they're not willing to give it to those who don't have it, and those who don't have it can't get it because no one's willing to give it. And so it's just this vicious cycle. And it's the same thing with social media. Like, the more followers and views and stuff that your content gets, the better your chances are of being noticed. And so what they, or how I say the algorithm is going to do is it's going to say, hey, this person's stuff gets seen a lot. Let's push that to keep people on the platform. And then what they're going to say is, hey, this person's stuff doesn't get seen at all. I'm not going to show it unless someone like really shows interest in it. And so it's just a difficult balance. And like, I've gone down the road before of buying the interaction, if you will, and that's obviously not a great choice, because like you oftentimes just get fake fluff, and so it's like you don't get, and like the idea is you're supposed to like do these mass follow sprints, but you got to be careful with those because you don't want to get banned because you followed too many people all at once. But like, you do these mass follow sprints, and then some of the people you follow will follow you back, and then you go and you dump all the people you're following, and you keep doing that until you raise a decent amount of people. But it's like, regardless of how you go about doing it, like, interaction is key. And so if you go out and you buy all these followers and you're not getting crap for interaction, then you're gonna look stupid. Like, and I bet you I could probably find some promoter out there online who's willing to sell faux interactions as well. And like, the popular advice on the internet is don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Like, if you want to be noticed, you want to be noticed by organic people. And that makes perfect sense. But the other side of that coin is it is incredibly difficult to be noticed by organic people when your content's not being promoted out there. And then when organic people see your content, they're like, ugh, this guy's only got 5 views, or ugh, this guy's only got 200 followers. Like, I don't care about this person anymore. You lose your credibility. But if they get on there and you've got tens of thousands of views and you've got thousands and thousands of followers, and it's like, oh, other people think that this person's legit, so I guess I'll watch them too because I kind of enjoy them. And so it's this constant battle of like, is buying the attention worth it enough to at least be noticed as a creator? Or is it like most advisors would present it to you, just completely all bad and avoid it at all costs? As an author, I have an incredibly difficult time finding a way to present my work to the world in a way, or especially on Instagram, because Instagram is a very visual platform. Like, it's not a writer's platform. Like Twitter or Reddit are better platforms for writers because it is a written platform. But with that said, like, I feel like I don't feel like it's any easier for a writer to break out on Twitter or Reddit than it is for them to break out on Instagram. Like, I don't know. It's difficult for me to come up with a pertinent content plan. Like, this is the kind of content that I will create, and I will keep creating it until I finally break through and get what I deserve or get what I want. And I also frequently like wax and wane on the content that I create, and like, maybe I shouldn't be focusing so much on the writing portion of it, because that's the other thing, is like, as an author, like, a lot of times you're promoting yourself above all else, and you're hoping that people will like who you are enough to give your fiction a try. And there's like so many different avenues that one can take, and you don't know which one's going to take off until one of them takes off. But it's like, I make a lot of food, and whenever I make food, I do food videos, and my food videos organically get thousands of views every time, whereas I'll try and do this fancy video to do something about writing or about books, and I get like 60, or I get like 50, or I get like none. And so the idea is like, do I need to do a course correction? Do I need to change? Do I need to go away from what I'm doing now? And do I need to move to maybe doing like a food channel where I just make food and show off the food that I make, and then eventually write a cookbook and then try and sell that? The problem is I enjoy writing fiction, and I would probably enjoy writing a cookbook. Like, I enjoy doing different things and new things, so like, having released a cookbook would be cool, but like, is that the future of what I want to do with my social media? I don't know. Like, right now I'm posting most every day, but I don't cook every day. I cook on Sundays, and I eat throughout the week. And so it's like, I post maybe one foodie video a week, and every time I cook something, and then that blows up into whatever it blows up into. And so, I don't know, it's just a challenge to try and figure out the right direction to go. And the obvious answer is there's no right direction. Like, there's so many different directions, and the path is different for everybody. You don't know how you're going to succeed until you kind of start to succeed, and you notice what people like and what people care about, and they'll start to kind of follow. And so that's what kind of is what I'm doing here with these videos. It's like, I don't know that they're going to do anything, but I am commuting to and from work anyway, and I always have these deep thoughts while I'm commuting to and from work, and I ought as well share them with the world instead of sit here cooped up in my car talking to myself. And so, I don't know, the hope here is that if I just continue to go at it, and I continue at it, then eventually something will happen and something will break. And I keep having to say this, I feel like I've said this on multiple videos, but I frequently have to back the bus up and look at the bigger picture here. My first published book came out in 2020, and so it's very difficult for me to be like, okay, I've been publishing for 3 years now, the whole world needs to notice me. And to the same end, like, I've only been consistently posting on social media since last summer for a whole year, so I haven't been doing that for very long either. But like, all that considered, I've only really gained like 2 legit followers from this whole thing, and outside of that I've gotten like a whole heck of a lot of fluff. And like there's another author who seems to be doing quite well on Instagram. Actually, I run into quite a few of them, and what I don't know is like, and this is the problem with social media, is you're constantly getting your competition, so to speak, thrown in your face, and it's not healthy to view it as competition. I like prefer to like help and promote like other creators that are smaller and that need help and promotion or whatever, but it's like I don't really have all that I can offer you either, because I'm not that big of an account. I'm just one person. But at any rate, I have another author that I noticed that he is doing quite well for himself, and his followers are steadily growing, and he's got very close to 10,000. But like, I'm convinced that this person is using one of those like paid programs, because he doesn't get a whole heck of a lot of interaction on his posts. He gets a lot of views and he's gaining a decent amount of followers, but I don't think it's all organic, because he doesn't have comments. Comments he does have are like emoji dumps or something weird like that. And so then it creates, like, the whole mode of it creates this kind of like accusatory thing where it's like, well, that person's not legit, they just are using one of those programs. And it's like, you know, like, they can probably see right through me too. Like, I've got thousands of followers right now, but like I post a video and I get 60 views, and so it's just exhausting, and it feels like I'm banging my head against the wall and it's not going anywhere. And I've got a lot of like cool stuff in the works, and it's just like, how do you get people to care? How do you get people to give a darn about the work that you're putting out? Because that is what seems to be the most difficult part. And I think and this may be different for people, and I hate to try and make excuses for myself, but I feel like I do a lot better in a person-to-person element than I do on a social media element. Like, I feel like my personality does not shine on social media quite as well as it does when I'm like interacting with an individual, and that is why, like, anytime I am given the chance to do so, I go out of my way to interact with anyone who's interacting with my content, because I feel like if I get them close enough to my content to interact with it, then I can be me and I can reel them in by being me. But with that being said, like, is it more beneficial for me to go a more physical, boots on the ground approach with this and be like, hey, this is like me, I'm gonna go do this event or whatever, and let's just say 2024, the pressure is on in 2024 because of this proverbial fork that I have built for myself. Like, once I hit the big 3-0, I'm not going to stop creating. I'll never stop creating. That will always be a part of me. But like, I'm going to start wanting to settle down and doing the whole family thing. And like, one of the biggest things that Dan Coe, I watch a lot of his videos, and he talks about people falling for the trap of settling down too early. And I kind of like absolutely wholeheartedly believe that. And like, I'm not saying that there's a problem with marriage, early marriage, and like having children at an early age. If that's what you want out of life, then do it. But like, yes, I want that out of life, but I also want to be this creative person, this creative piece of whatever. And so like, I'm not going to settle down and possibly inhibit my creation any earlier than I have to. Like, I don't think I want to have a child too late in my 30s. Like, that's pushing it. But to the same end, like, I feel like the modern like age of people, the 20s should be a time to explore yourself and find who you are. And I've had a good enough go at things to where I've been able to do that, explore who I am, figure out who I am, and move from there. But like, the idea that people will just instantly like settle down and do that little bit, like I said, that's not dogging that lifestyle, like to each their own. But you look at like these extremely successful creators and stuff, and a lot of them did a bulk of their work in their 20s, and then they blew up at some point in time in their 20s, and have been able to just kind of maintain from there. And that's like the other thing that bears down on me. Not that I feel like I'm old or that I'm running out of time or anything, but like no one's getting any younger at the same time, and it's like I do feel like the older you get, the more difficult it is to break out. Like, yes, there's tons of stories of people breaking out in this world in their 30s or in their 40s even, but like I feel like more often than not they are the exceptions to the rule, and they are not, like, it is not commonplace to break out as an older individual in modern society. And so with that, I feel the kind of pressures of that like coming down. It's like, I ain't getting any younger. I don't seem to be getting any more popular on anything either. And so just really kind of constantly playing that social media game of like putting out content only to watch it be grossly ignored and have no one really care about the content that's being put out, and constantly like throwing money at it and doing all this stuff to get somewhere. It just does not work. And I don't know if just like, is marketing just not my forte? I want to just hire a marketing manager. Like, I will pay someone to make me famous. Like, I don't care. But the problem is it's very difficult, and I've reached out to marketing firms before, and a lot of them just straight up say no. They're like, yeah, we don't have any plans to market an author. Like, good luck, buddy. And I'm like, seriously? Like, that's you guys are a marketing firm, and that is what you are. And that's what your business model is. You're like, I'm not in the business of helping authors gain following. I was like, okay, but like it's a common thing apparently, because like I can't get anybody to even give it a chance. And it's like, if you guys have strategies that are better than my strategies, because I mean I have strategies but they're not great obviously, like, come on, somebody help me out. I will pay you to help me out, but can't pay somebody to do something they don't want to do. To a degree, like, I'm sure you can pay someone the right kind of money to do something they don't want to do, but it's not going to be fruitful for me if I ain't getting the amount of like attention that I want to get out of it either. So I don't know. That's the feels that I'm having this morning of constantly going at it and constantly banging my head against the wall and constantly doing a whole lot of nothing. And I don't really know. Like I said, 2024 is going to be a pivotal year. I need to, not only do I need to hit it with the ground running, hit it hard, but I need to stay on it as well, because I feel like I'm so habitually bouncing from task to task. Like, I have consistently uploaded videos to Instagram for over a year now, but I haven't really got any sort of attention from it. And like, maybe I need to figure out, like, why do certain videos take off and certain videos not, and try and make more videos like the videos that take off. But more often than not, the videos that take off are just straight nonsense, and it's like, well, then I'm just going to be some nonsense creator. No one's going to even know what I'm about. So we have arrived, and I am no closer to my goal or understanding it than I was when I started this drive, but I'm just hoping that 2024 gets me somewhere that I can feel accomplished.